Welcome back to Le Foot, your podcast about French football, where we say bye for now to Metz, who are relegated after the loss versus Monaco. Despite winning against Marseille, Nantes could be joining them soon if they don't win, and they need to win already on Friday. In the top part of the table, Lyon are now close to the Champions League for next season as Endrick dances again. What club will take the fourth place? Speaking about the Champions League, was PSG and Bayern Munich the best match in recent football history? We debate. We also look at LePaul's run for Le Bleu World Cup squad, the rock bottom situation in OM, and a potential goal of the season. On y va.
Hello! How are you doing, Charlie? We're back with another episode.
Oh yes, another one in the making, and what a great weekend it has been football-wise. I mean, it's been a lot to see from Ligue. I'm doing good. Sun is shining now after a rainy day here in Stockholm, and we're in the Palace. Yeah, how are you?
Great. And as you said, we've actually switched place of recording today.
Yeah.
So we're at Dennis Palace in Backlura, Stockholm.
The westernmost part of Stockholm, I would say.
Yeah.
The commune.
Yeah, I think it is, yeah.
And where we grew up, so nice to be here. I think we're all can agree now fully that PSG is going to win the league, and they, because of that reason, didn't even start with their best 11. We have PSG Lorient 2-2. Yeah.
4 goals in Paris, but I would say we didn't know at that point, given the outcome later on for Lens down in Nice.
That is true.
But I mean, as you say, they did rest some players, and you had Ibrahim Mbaye scoring early on, youngster.
Yeah, but I think, I mean, they knew beforehand that they could
It would be fine.
Have any outcome in this game and still feel confident winning the league. But yeah, nice goal from or early goal from Mbaye, but it was Doué's goal, I think.
Yeah, and Doué, we must just call out all throughout a great match with an assist, and also I think he's showing up now, showing a bit of leadership quality when Dembélé and Kvaratskhelia is not on the pitch. I think sometimes that I have missed sometimes from him, that when the other stars don't play, I don't think he shines as bright as when he plays alongside them. But here he pulled up. But pulled up, we have Pagis again. Assists, I mean, he scores here, and what a player for Lorient. I mean, what a season he has been having. And I guess there is other clubs looking at him, maybe other bigger clubs in Ligue as well. So he pulls one back, and then you have 1-1. And then, first touch as a substitute, Zaire Emery coming on and then scores a deflection goal. That must be a great feeling.
Definitely, but I think it's interesting there. I mean, they rested a lot of players here. And Fabian Ruiz came back quite recently from injury, and we saw him coming in against Bayern Munich mid last week. Now starting, trying to get back in shape. Going out, his replacement is Zaire Emery, and it also gives over the captain's band as well to him. So I think in between those two, I mean, going back 6 months before Fabian Ruiz got injured, he was playing all the time.
Yeah.
But now Zaire Emery has been doing so well and really grabbed that place. And I think, it's up to him to lose that, because he's still considering top pick from Luis Enrique in this game. But it was just interesting to see him handing over the captain's band there as well. And then, as you said, he scores immediately when he comes in. I mean, a bit lucky though with the deflection and all that, but I mean, impact for sure.
Oh yeah, and I mean, a 20-year-old Frenchman having them bringing results for PSG is impressive. And I think we know they've talked about a strategy of having local talents play, and I think when you look at PSG now, I think of course there is a mix of foreign bought players, but you see these French talents up, they appear and they produce, and I think it's very, very impressive, and he's from the academy as well. It must mean extra. And I always like seeing academy players showing up. But then you have the equalizer, and Dennis, you actually had the bet on a draw here, I heard. And you had 2-2 from Tossin, and he has also played a few minutes before he scored, and quite a solo goal. It must be nice. Not that Lorient has anything to play for. They want to win football matches as anyone else, but no position really to gain there. But I mean, overall, a good match. I want to say overall, PSG should have won, though.
Yeah.
I mean, given the chances they create, I think Hernandez had 2 in the crossbar. It's
especially towards I think the end of the game.
They pushed. Yeah. So of course, I think they can be disappointed, but I think they can handle it. Also, given the champagne is on the cooling, right? They are preparing for a nice celebration.
Yeah.
And also, we will get later to that this episode, but this week they have a big task at hand when they're heading to Munich to play the second leg.
Yeah, very interesting.
Also interesting, I think, was Safonov was he was suspended for this game, so they played with Renato Marin in goal, 19 years old from Italy, and he couldn't do much against any of the goals, but just that Enrique decided to play Renato instead of
Cavalier. Yeah, I mean that is crazy, and I'm wondering where was Cavalier. We might need to do some investigation there, because the goalkeeper they have on the bench is called Lorient, 20-year-old Moroccan, and I think Cavalier he must be looking for the exit, because this is not. I mean, I'm not sure when he's gonna play football.
Yeah, I don't know if he's grooming Deschamps somewhere to try and get a place to the World Cup.
To go to the World Cup.
But
and he shouldn't go anywhere near a World Cup squad if you're not playing football. I'm not sure why. There's other great French goalkeepers.
Yes. Definitely, but I think what we said from the beginning here, PSG went out this game. They wanted to win, but nevertheless, the outcome, they're confident to win, and I think they have 100% focus, no matter what the players and Enrique says towards the away game at Allianz Arena this week.
Then Lyon-Rennes yesterday, Sunday evening. What a match and what a performance from Lyon. I mean, we've been criticizing Lyon over some course of time, but it feels like beating PSG away, and then now this match, I think it feels like they are producing quality again. And I just want to start with 6 minutes into the match, you have Tamari scoring a contender for goal of the season. I mean, that's right down my alley. Dennis, tell us, what do you see?
Wow, I mean, we have a long cross towards Tamari, who's placed on the edge of the penalty area, and he just smashes it beyond the goalkeeper on the goal post, and it goes in. It's
direct volley there. That's confidence.
Direct volley, yeah.
Confidence.
Grief can't do anything, and Rennes starts off very well. And you had your bet also on Rennes, so I bet you enjoyed that goal a little bit extra.
I did, and it looked good during the first half. I felt, but then Lyon just they just took over. Yeah,
because you have Yaremchuk. I mean, Lyon pulling back closer to half-time break, and he scores a great header. And what a form Yaremchuk is in as well. I think they are finding, the solution up front now for Lyon to play with these youngsters.
With the absence of Sulch, he's really stepped up.
He has really stepped up, and I think they feel stronger now, because even when Sulch was performing, the overall performance of the squad didn't feel as good, I would say. So I think they're really, really finding something there. And after that, you have a situation where Rennes goes up with all the players. I mean, they are offensively attacking in a tough away game, and you have a counter-attack, and you have Brissamba pulling down. Not pulling down, but he comes late, and Moreira goes down, and I think Tolisso makes no mistake from the penalty spot. And I mean, he's Mr. Captain, I feel. He steps up, hits it in 2-1.
But I think there are also, I mean, even though perhaps Rennes was a bit naive and a bit too offensive, having the back line so up high on Lyon's pitch, or on their side of the pitch. But I mean, as a spectator, you do love teams that goes for it, and I think that was what this game was all about from the first until the last minute. Both teams were going for it, and there was so much on stake going for the last. I mean, the third spot, which is the last. I mean, final Champions League spot. So there was so much to play for, and I mean, I liked Rennes that they were really going for it. But that was a bit naive, and I mean, if the red card would have been pulled for Samba, I don't know if I would have disagreed. I mean, there could have been a red card for him also.
Could have been a red, but I think isn't the latest there in the refereeing world that the double punishment should be not be used so much, because if you get a penalty awarded against you, I think if you're not violent, I think it should be a yellow. If it's outside the penalty box, I think it's a red. I think there used to be a lot of double punishment and a lot of discussion in the footballing world, and I think that is the reason why he's still on the pitch.
You're probably right. I always mix those up because they changed them, because I was under the impression that if there's a defender who will clearly, in this case, catch the ball after that, like after he goes around the keeper, which in this case was more of a 50-50, you know, then it should be a red. While in this case it was a 50-50 and therefore a yellow. But if it's because of the double punishment, I mean, I definitely agree, because Lyon won, however, but I mean, that would have completely trashed up the game.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, what happens then early second half is we have LePaul, 19th goal of the season. Really nice. I mean, Mbolo also just skips over the ball or lets it slide through. And that
makes the goal. I mean, without that, no goal. I mean, no chance from LePaul and no goal.
No, exactly. And having that cool as a striker as Mbolo to just let the ball be and not take, those 1-2 extra touches. There you see a lot of strikers and attacking players do that. Such a good watch. But then we have Moreira. I mean, what a form he's finding himself in now at the end of the season as well. And then finishing off, we have Endrick with a bang another time. But the match didn't end there. Endrick did a nice lob for your beloved Sulch, and he bottles it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this was his first game in a couple of weeks, because he's been out to injury. But looking at the game, it felt like he was so confident that he would score. So for a millisecond there, he was almost celebrating. Some would say that he was preparing a bit of an Endrick dance after the goal. But I mean, he missed. He probably should have scored. But then after that, Endrick produced another superb assist opportunity for. I don't know if it was.
I think it was Moreira again. Actually, yeah.
Coming there.
Endrick had a fantastic performance overall.
Yeah, definitely.
And I saw him dancing a bit with the old Liga player and now working in Liga Plus, Guillaume Huaro, in the studio. We're gonna put it on our Instagram for everyone to see. So he had some dancing lessons. Really appreciated. And I mean, Endrick. Jeff, you mentioned earlier today that there has been a bit of talk, and Endrick has mentioned something about staying or going to Real Madrid. What is that all about?
Yeah, so I just read that he's just recently now said that. I mean, he was really neutral in that perspective, saying that like if Real Madrid calls him back, which was the rules as of the agreement initially, like he'd be happy to go back, but then also it felt like the way he expressed himself, he was more inclined to be like, I'm also happy to stay at Lyon, which I kind of want to do more.
Because he's playing.
Yeah, and then he also mentioned on top of that he was like more inclined to stay in Lyon because he's playing like frequently now, and also he felt that like Francesca, was behind him. But these things changed so quickly. I feel like it was just a few games ago when Endrick had a few games run not producing goals or assists. He was getting benched, in the first half, and he was getting a bit of a bash from Francesca. But now, I mean, that completely turned, and also Lyon doing very well again. And I remember us saying that, I mean, can he produce when Lyon is not producing great? And those things have, kind of, be going together. He does well when Lyon does well. So, I mean, it's always easy to be, positive, saying good things when it's going well for you as an individual and as a club. But nevertheless, I think from an objective standpoint here that he's still very young. Playing for Lyon next season as well will do him good. Also considering that I think Real Madrid will go a bit of a transition phase next year and might not see him as, their first 11 player. So I think it'll do good for both for all three parties, Real Madrid, Ligue, and Lyon, to having Endrick to stay, and I hope to see him stay next year as well.
It would be really good, and I think the tricky part here would be, of course, solving the financials out, because I've understood that he's on a 3-year agreement with Real Madrid, and it's actually an undisclosed fee that Real Madrid paid when they brought him over from Brazil, but the reports are somewhere between 60 million euro and then 35 million euro. So I think regardless, to bring him on from Lyon's side, it's going to be an expensive affair on a permanent, but maybe
Champions League money they can do.
Yeah, they break the bank.
Yeah.
But
it's expensive.
But it's, I mean, what they've seen from him so far, I know he had a dip in performances, as you mentioned, but what they've seen so far is there's no guarantee in football, but I think he has shown them that he will keep producing, and if he can keep them as a top club for the upcoming seasons, it's worth it. Sometimes you need to splash the cash, take a risk, and it's a lot of money, but maybe they can reach some agreement with Real Madrid, or he extends his contract with Real Madrid and they get to lend him another season, and they find a solution like that, because I think Real Madrid is also super interested in seeing Endrick keep playing. They need to make an assessment. Will he come here and play games? That's for the La Liga experts to say something about, but it's an interesting case here.
League check. We have PSG draw, but of course stays at the top. Lens draw, but also stays at the top.
Yes,
times being
late equalizer from Nice. I think they were not too far from winning that match, Lens. But would it have changed much? I don't think so. It would still be in a too many points difference, I think. And I want to call something out. We talked about some month ago is that Lens needs to win every single match if they're going to have a chance. If they would have done that, I think they would have had the hands on the title in the end. But they have consistently now dropped points here and there.
I mean, they would have had it in their own hands, because last 2 games they draw now against Nice and Brest before that. 4 extra points, 68 PSG, 70. And then they also play each other. And that would have been a real nice watch. Lens would have had it in their own hands. So, I mean, they've lost it themselves, including a lot of factors, but...
Yeah, because PSG has dropped some points. We didn't expect that to happen, but it has happened. And I think they can be a little bit disappointed, but overall, we've said it many times, fantastic season. But there is another headline, Metz is out. Yeah. It's now official, it's done deal. And in that match, they actually had the lead for quite some time against Monaco. You had Pogba playing 57 minutes, which is always nice to see Pogba back on the pitch. But actually, when Pogba goes back, then you have Balogun equalizing, and later Ansu Fati scoring the decisive 2-1 goal. And I mean, the Mets supporters, of course, really upset and disappointed after the match. I think the players devastated as well. Relegation is always really tough. It's the toughest thing in football when it comes to results. I mean...
But that's what both players and fans could have expected from the Mets side, I guess. The last 10 rounds or so, they've lost round after round. They've not performed. They're not put up a fight against the opponents.
No.
So this is what you could expect, I guess. I mean, difficult for sure, but
they could have mentally prepared. I think you're right there, and I think this is also a bit telling. I think this match, when they're putting up somewhat of a fight, but then in the end getting 0 points. I think that's been the story of their season. Sometimes they score a goal or so, but they don't grab points, and they're heading out. And
but what's really interesting in this round is Nantes really taking the chance to, compete with Auxerre about not being relegated straight away, and beating UM 3-0 at home, scoring 3 goals within the first 15 minutes of the second half. Absolutely tearing UM apart. UM making individual mistakes, collective mistakes, and he's getting trashed there within 15 minutes, conceding 3 goals. And if there was turbulence within UM before this game, I think that
It's boiling over now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's grown massively.
Yeah, and another headline. I mean, Paris FC 4-0 against Brest, and a furious Brest side, of course. And I think it should be. I mean, it's a newcomer. Yes, they've done some signings, but 4-0. And 18-year-old Rudy Matondo, who came this winter from Auxerre, scoring 2. And I've read some, people meaning that he's one of the greatest talents of his generation, and I want to agree now. 18-year-old on this level, one of Europe's top 5 leagues. Of course, he's playing in a, bottom side, middle team, who are, trying to push and develop. But I think we're going to see more of him over the years to come in European football. And another one I just want to call out, Gary O'Neill, another loss. Do you think that the season is starting to turn a bit grayish for Strasbourg? I mean,
full focus on the conference, I think.
Yeah.
And considering where they are in the table, no chances. Just full focus on the conference since they went out the coupe the other week. So, I mean, this week you should have probably played against Strasbourg again, Dennis.
Here you had it.
Yeah.
Good odds
That's
as well.
True.
Yeah,
that's so true.
But our favorite, Sinayoko, he showed up, 1 goal and 1 assist, and overall incredible match when Auxerre has the knife towards the throat and they had to grab 3 points. They did it, and Mara scoring 2 goals, setting up Sinayoko for the other goal. I mean, this duo, electric. And now we're going to get into it by the end of the episode, but it's looking really interesting ahead there in the bottom, because Nantes, they tried. I think it might be too late, and Auxerre, they are making a run to actually get to save space, and that's it's going to be one of the most interesting things to follow together with the Champions League race now, heading to the end of the season. I also want to mention one thing, is that Gauthier Lloris was in Team of the Week from L'Equipe this week, and Lloris, do you see him, Jeff? Do you see that young man? Oh, not that young, 30 plus, but he looks quite a lot like his older brother. Hugo, former Tottenham and France goalkeeper. I mean, quite a good goalie. And this is his. I think it's almost 10-year difference between the brothers. And just wanted to call that out because
neither of them have won anything on club level. Then I mean, Hugo. I mean, he was good for Spurs, but Spurs never won anything. They were close Champions League final. I mean, he has some very nice national trophies in his cabinet. Yeah. But I mean, Lloris here in Havre, there doesn't seem like he'll be grabbing any club trophies either. You're digging in on the Lloris family here. Yes. But that's right. He had a good performance. And also funny team of the week here. You have your favorite, Charlie, the coach of Nantes, the crazy old man. Yeah, he was not even on the bench because he's suspended, but he was there in the stands watching his team, and Halilhodžić. I mean, yeah, it's a great victory, but given where the club is at the moment, it's too late. They need to win against Lens. We're going to get to that as well on Friday, and that's not going to happen. I think Lens they will grab at least 1 point at home versus Nantes. So, for sure. And even if they would win that match, I think it might not be enough because Auxerre might beat Nice. So I think it looks really grim for Nantes, but at least they got something to remember and to tell stories about to the children that they beat OM 3-0 even when they were at the bottom. I also want to call out, we talked earlier about LePaul scoring his 19th goal, and legendary Djibril Cissé, old striker, he actually wants to vote him as the best player this season in Ligue 1. And I think that's interesting. There is another fact here that in the leagues, in top 5 leagues in Europe, he is the best French goal scorer so far this year. And that's ahead of Mbappé, Dembélé, Thuram and Olise. Olise, of course, is not a striker, but he produces points. Yeah. So
there's more talk now about the World Cup. Jeff, you've been into the discussion, should they bring LePaul as a joker for the World Cup squad? And now it seems there is a hashtag even to bring him with the Deschamps squad. What do you think?
I can't recall exactly what we said about that topic last week, but I believe it came into him not being the type of player that France needs up front. For me, he's very good in the box. Take this goal against Lyon now, for an example. He's at the right place at the right time, and he scores where he should, or he shoots and then scores efficiently. But he does not have the pace, and he doesn't have the proven track record for playing on that top level with his players up front. So yes, he might be picked by Deschamps, but I think he'll play very few, or if any, minutes then in the World Cup.
He would more come in like a mood manager. I think it would be to have the depth in the squad if anything would go wrong, but totally agree. And he has a hard person to improve on, to impress on, because Deschamps, according to Pogba and interview he did now with Ligue 1 Plus, is that Deschamps is the best manager there is. And it's hard to disagree with a star player like Pogba, but what do you think? There's a lot of great football managers, and according to Pogba, it's Deschamps, the best of them all. What do you think? Do you have any other name you want to throw in there? There is the obvious ones, I think, Guardiola,
Yeah,
Klopp.
I'm just thinking about who Pogba's actually played. He's had Mourinho, and then he had Allegri for a long time, I think, and Conte as well. And just all those four, Mourinho, Conte, Allegri, they have, to put it just easy, it's more of a defensive approach than Deschamps.
Yeah. Still pragmatic though, I think, Deschamps. But I think here it's a bit like apples and pears, because Deschamps is such a qualified manager, having won the World Cup with a national team, and it's a great national team. It's his own national team, being French. But we're talking about a lot of club managers there. I think it's a bit of a different job. And
then, I think he also played under Ferguson for, a short period in United before he went to Juventus, perhaps. It was a year or two. But then, he never played, so I guess that doesn't really count from a Pogba perspective.
No, he started exactly, and he left for Juventus for a reason. And but it's an interesting one, because he's up there, Deschamps, given what he's producing. He should be mentioned in the discussions, and I think he's a bit overseen when you discuss top managers, because he's the national team coach.
But that also, you said just now, you're comparing apple and pears, those managers to Deschamps. But then I also think it's a bit is a big difference, saying who's the best coach, and then you compare a coach who's been in a national team for the past 15-16 years.
Yeah.
And before that, he's won the league as a coach for OM, but apart from that, not to take anything away from him, but not that much comparing him, to big coaches who's been at the scene for a long time. Especially Pep, but you have Wenger, you have Ferguson, you have Klopp.
Yeah.
Flink now. There's many. So Pogba might think so, but I would not put Deschamps as top 3, top 5. Ancelotti. There's a lot of names I might put before Deschamps.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We need to mention another manager. Carles Martinez, aka God's Plan, is gonna leave Toulouse. He has now announced it. And what do you think about it? He has decided to leave, and he has announced it himself, so it's definitely going to happen, and Toulouse needs to find a replacement. I think it doesn't need to be all bad for Toulouse.
But they've started winning quite a few games recently now as well, so
God's Plan is leaving.
Any rumors or news about where he's going?
No, I looked a bit. Apparently, he has previously coached a bit in Espanyol and Barcelona, I think, like B teams and such. I couldn't find any targets of where he's heading, and he's also been a bit in the golf coaching previously. So
Golf.
yeah, in the Gulf states, you know.
I thought you meant the sport.
God's plan. He can do everything. And another one, Ablin Dennis. It was quite some time ago you mentioned, but that goal and also his, what he's doing against OM, even now that Nantes most definitely is going down, I think we will see more of him in Ligue next season. I don't think he should join them as a young player heading down.
It will be sad to see him not continue playing in Liga.
But do you think? I think there is clubs that will.
Yeah,
they'll bring him back.
I hope so. I don't know which team would, but it would be really sad to see him play in League there. I think he's a lot better player than playing in that kind of league.
So we're circling back to OM, who lost away against Nantes with 3-0, conceding 3 quick goals just at the start of the second half, and how that actually happened. I was thinking it was a variance between individual and collective mistakes, but did you guys see this loss coming from OM ahead of playing against Nantes here?
I didn't see it coming, but now I think it's official that they are rock bottom for a club of Marseille size. I think this is really now the end point for many things. I think they're going to have to reevaluate a lot of the players, a lot of the contracts. They need to look at the management squad. They also need to look at the recruitment, because a lot of decisions and a lot of work has put them in this position. And I'm fed up watching this. I think that they should really take action. They have some players that are on loan, and I think they should just be happy they are leaving this summer. They don't need to deal with it. For example, you have the Belgian Vermeeren, young one in midfield on loan. I think happy to see him go. This was a dreadful performance. Højbjerg is not on loan. He's permanently there, but they should I think they need to do a complete rebuild this summer. They need to look at signing new players, and of course not having Champions League football is not going to help the wallet. I think they need to find a solution for Greenwood as well. He was not the worst player on the pitch this time, but given what's going on now with the coaches and the club and the fighting, I think they need to find a permanent solution to have him away. Aubameyang, maybe it's time to put the shoes on the shelf and move on. I think it's crazy that a club of Marseille size in a country where there is so much great young football talent puts together a squad like this. I think also from a footballing management perspective, they need to look at the recruitment strategy. They need to look at scouting. They need to look at youth development. They need to do a full retake, which it's fine. A club needs to do that sometimes. But today, talking about this, it gets me annoyed, it gets me angry. They need to really, really change things up. And Habib, can he stay?
5 losses now, and he's been coaching for 10 games. And he as a manager, considering his track record within OM and previous club, there is questions that might be raised if he has the capability to bring OM forward. But then also, very hard for him to come into a team within the situation he got the squad in, and all the turbulence, both within the dressing room but also without. So very turbulent period. But difficult one.
Yeah, and they have a lot of loan players, and that could actually be of help now because they need to get rid of a lot. I think they really need to look at other clubs which are doing good things with lesser budgets. There's 60,000 people watching this club every week at home, and they can't even put together a better squad than this. I think it's embarrassing.
But what might come good out of this is that if you don't play the Champions League and what it looks like to not play Europa League, they might play conference, I think. Like if Lens wins, and I think it's a 6th or 7th spot who gets them conference, might be doable. But if you don't have to play in Europa, week in, week out, there's more room to playing your best squad, your best players in the league and in the coupe, so they can put their focus there next year. Because we've seen that in Ligue and other leagues, a club who is good but doesn't really have the squad to compete on three fronts, they get tired and they can't put the best teams out week in, week out, and that reflects the result in the league or in Europe. So
sometimes even both. They start losing matches on all fronts when they do that. So I can agree to that point that it could be a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
But Dennis, what do you think? What is the key thing to do this summer for OM? What do they need to get right?
Change the whole squad.
Easy as that.
Easy as that. I'm not particularly impressed with anything they've done ever since we started this podcast or this season. Really, it's
and I can only agree. I can't put my hope and energy into one single player in this squad, and that's a problem, because then you've built a squad with players that doesn't have impact match winners. I mean, of course, they put some matches performances over the season. Any club of this size can do that. But I think over time, I mean, they need players that can be decisive in the important moments. And what we are seeing now is just, it's a mess.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an issue with communication or something in the back in the defense, because I often see errors in the defense. I mean, now we saw, even though that was quite clumsy of the right back, of course, Nadi. But it feels like they don't communicate in the defense and doesn't have that good cooperative plays.
No, for sure.
They don't cooperate that well. That's what I want to say, I guess.
For sure. And one thing that is striking, that is in this starting 11, playing this 3-0 loss at Nantes, you actually have only one Frenchman, and he plays for Gabon, and that's Aubameyang. The rest is a mix-up, and that can work, but then you really need, because you're speaking about communication. I mean, I think there is so many problems going into this squad. I think it's going to be one of the most interesting one, and I think we will do a special episode ahead of the summer where we actually go through some suggestions from our three sides of what we think should be done in OM over the summer, looking at the players that will leave that we know, players that maybe they should look to sell, and maybe if we have spotted some other players that they should bring in to stabilize this, because right now it's one of the worst performing clubs in the league. I know they are in a safe space, but the performances are just awful.
Yeah, very much so.
Now we need to talk a bit about last week's Champions League match between PSG and Bayern München. A lot of journalists have been writing about it as, the greatest match of football in a very long time. And I want to start with agreeing to that. What a match. What did we see, Dennis?
I mean, so many goals. And I feel like it could have been a lot more.
Yeah, the goals just kept coming, and it felt like this will end 10-10.
Yeah. I think because I was with colleagues when we watched it, and I remember my colleagues say it's easily going to be 10 goals in the game. It was like very early in the first half. He said that, and I was just like, no, that's not going to happen. And then goal after goal, it just kept happening, and I thought that but we got to 9 goals eventually.
About the goals, I was just thinking, you mentioned it, I think it was 2 episodes ago, Charlie, like it's funny when you have these games how the goals are going. Like in this case was PSG up 5-0 and then Bayern Munich scored 4. But I mean,
I think it was 5-2.
No, 5-2, yeah.
Yeah, it was. But I was just saying, like how the goals go. So it was 2-2.
Oh yeah.
And then 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, and there you were thinking, like, is Bayern Munich gonna be able to come back?
Yeah, exactly.
And like, if it would have been 5-2, the game we have coming up this week wouldn't have been as much fun and all that. But what do you guys think? Do you think is it a penalty 3-2 for PSG?
Oh yeah.
I've had to watch the replay.
That turns the game. I
It
think
does.
just before. When the first half is about to end, they get that penalty.
Davies, he's the crazy thing is when you look at that from one angle, it looks like he takes his arm out where the ball will come, and then it looks like crystal clear penalty. I mean, it can't be clearer than that. But then if you look at different angles, I mean, some people are arguing that it actually touches Davies' body first, and then it should. It does.
Yeah,
and then it shouldn't be a penalty. I mean, from the body out on your own arm, that's not a penalty. But I want to argue that I think we would have seen all the goals anyway, because this is the kind of match where, I mean, logic from previous football matches you've watched disappear. It felt like it was 11 versus 11. Star quality players taking on each other 1 versus 1 all the time. I mean, I also want to mention because I think just to boil that down, I think it's not a penalty. I think body out to the arm is not a penalty, but I want to argue that it didn't impact the game as much as as you could argue. I know Bayern München fans also could say that that's a big mistake, but I think overall, I mean, the performance from Dembélé.
But do you think that's why he got substituted in the first half? Because Lime comes in straight away in the second against Davies, and Lime has played a lot of good games for Bayern Munich, both in the Champions League and in the league, and I think he did a good performance coming in the second half.
He did well, and I mean, it's a really tricky position defending as PSG. We talked about it. This is gonna be just star attacking players match, and that exactly happened. I mean, we would say the goalkeepers might keep a key performance, but I mean, they let in. Neuer didn't even save one thing, right? And but I want to focus here on the star quality in front for both clubs. I mean, that goal from Diaz is. I mean,
the pass from Kane also.
The pass from Kane and Diaz taking the ball down. Marquinhos starting to look like a Ligue 2 defender. But it's not because Marquinhos is bad. It's because the quality from Diaz action is top world class, and you don't see this often. This was the match of not only the year, but for a few years now, this was the best football match I've seen. I can't recall a better match. And but I want to say Kvaratskhelia as well.
Yeah,
I mean, what a player he is. He has the touch on the ball when he shots, and I mean, he does the same thing again. He comes in and hits it. It doesn't matter if it's Bayern München or Lorient or if it's Paris FC. I mean, he will do it against any defender in the world. But I think overall, just a joy to watch. So happy we got this semi-final. And I said it before, I think the winner of this two legs, be it Bayern München or PSG, is going to win the final, because this is the top quality of football in the world right now. I would say it's unbelievable. And Safonov, we were a bit worried. I think he had an okay match. It was not that he did big mistakes. There was maybe one goal where you could argue he could have made a save, but I think overall I don't want to put it on Safonov. We've been harsh at times.
No, I think he did a good performance. I mean, hard to say did a good performance conceding 4 goals, but
that's the kind of match it is. It's crazy.
Neither of the goals he could be blamed for specifically. But just overall throughout the games, as both you guys been discussing, it felt like every time either PSG or Bayern Munich got the ball, just going forward, it felt like it was going to be a goal. Any direction. And you've seen a couple of games like that throughout the most recent years, but this was just something extra. And the goals themselves were really great. And I also think we should highlight the goal from Olise.
And he should have scored another one. I mean, talking about...
That would have been 2-0.
Yes, and that was a great period for Bayern München. I think this game, for me, went back and forth, but Bayern München had the start. I think they came out well.
Definitely.
And but then, when Kvaratskhelia scores the 2-1 goal, I was...
Out of nowhere, really.
Oh, yeah, the one... Yeah. Out of nowhere. It's like Parc des Princes explodes. And then you have a different match for the rest of the match. And I think in the end, it feels more that Bayern München had more struggles. I don't know, it's a crazy match to analyze in that sense, I feel.
I think maybe they're defensively, not from Neuer, but from Bayern Munich on the corners. They should have an advantage on set pieces against PSG, and they should not let a player like Neves, who's not, I mean, he's not like I don't know, Diego Jota or someone who's short and scores like that. He shouldn't be able to come up that freely and make that goal.
No.
And I think they just got a bit caught off guard there when Kvaratskhelia scored the equalizer, because the game changed completely. And it's just like they came into a tornado or something. They just got completely overwhelmed there and a bit caught off guard. But that's something they need to focus on. Because I think taking the game down to, I mean, PSG winning by Munich losing, I think Bayern Munich conceded goals where they could have done better. Whereas the opposite, I felt like the goals Bayern Munich scored, I don't think PSG could have done that much differently. Maybe a little bit.
I think it's a bit clumsy defending on the penalty for Kane in the beginning, but I agree with you overall, and you are supported by the expected goals because it was higher for Bayern München. So I think they created that kind of edge, but even that's when you get the star quality. Dembélé shooting the long shot, I mean, hits the post and then in. It's from nowhere. But I have a question for you guys. Few voices, not many, I think the majority just love this, but a few voices I've heard in some media, they are talking about, shouldn't PSG have changed to a more defensive approach once they were up 5-2? Because trying to keep that, I mean, goal line down would have put them maybe closer to the final. What do you think? Should they have done something to try to keep Bayern Munich? Because they were still attacking when Kane hit that ball to Luis Diaz and when Bayern Munich... I mean, it was attacking football all throughout the match.
Or what do you mean? You think that they should have put in
because
another defender? Or
I mean, do something tactically. But I think what I disagree with, if I'm gonna... Now I'm pegging it up for myself here in a way. What I think is that this was a unique football match where you had two coaches, Kompany and Luis Enrique, who were fully brave. I've never seen two coaches in a Champions League semi-final, crucial match, go in and go full offense. I mean, I think none of the clubs, none of the squads and none of the players were playing, how do you say, a defensively focused match. They all wanted to play football, offensive, positive football, and I love that we got to see 90 plus minutes of that. And we got to see the 9 goals. I don't want anyone to start... You know, you have a lot of managers. Most managers, they will start thinking about the result.
Yeah, but I mean, what you were saying just there, that, I mean, both were going for it, but that's the nature of both teams. So I think both of them needs to play their way of playing, right? And that in this case just brings out the best out of both teams. But defensive wise, I think that Enrique thought taking in Fabian Ruiz towards side Emery was somewhat more of a defensive move. But I mean, they conceded 2 goals the last 20 minutes when they made that change. And in the back 4, I don't know. It's also hard because they need those 3 midfielders and them up front to have the possession and counter-attack that could have scored.
So you mean it would break the system to try to interfere during the match like this. I can agree with that. I think it's also an afterthought. And I saw it mostly in French media. Very few people. I think mostly people are grateful that they got to watch such a great football match and that the coaches were this brave. And this week, I mean, I think there is not too much to talk about. We just look forward to the second leg because give us 9 more goals and we're happy.
But maybe to your point is that Hakimi went out injured quite late, or he didn't go out because they were not able to make any subs, but I mean, he was mainly standing on the middle of the pitch late, and he's not going to be playing at Allianz. So perhaps, you know, would have been better to taking him off, but he's such a key player. So
and
but
injuries is always tricky to predict.
I mean, that's going to be a massive blow. He's one of the best right backs in the world, so they can't replace him.
And I want to know now, we're heading into the second leg this week. Percentage-wise, what chances do you give PSG and what do you give Bayern München?
I'm going to be boring, but I'm going to say 50-50. So with that, I guess I give a small advantage to Munich because they have one. I know they got home ground, but still one goal. I mean, they need to win. But now I'll say 50-50.
Dennis?
I think I'm leaning a bit more towards Bayern Munich. It's I mean, they played so well in Paris, and I think PSG on their turf, and I think Bayern will probably take this one.
It's I say 50-50, so we are all kind of on that page. We also just need to mention Rayo Vallecano beat Strasbourg 1-0, so that's wide open when they head to Alsace for the second leg. I called out Issi for having the same haircut as me, and he scored a goal for Rayo.
And what's that haircut for people that don't know?
Well, you could argue that it's not a haircut because the hair is not there. But no, it's a shaved head. But it will be interesting to see if they can do similar things that they did to Mainz, that they turn it over at home. But we will see this week.
All right, next weekend games heading into game week 33, the second last round of Ligue season 2005-2006. We got a couple of battles that stands out, and I'm thinking specifically about Auxerre-Nice.
What a match.
What a match.
It's a must-watch Sunday evening, 9 o'clock Central European time. I mean, that's the battle of the bottom right there. That's what we wanted.
And Battle of the Bottom, we also have Nantes playing away against Lens, and they must grab 3 points. Also, depending on the result in Auxerre-Nice, to even have a chance to not go straight down to Ligue 2. And we'll see if Wahid and company can bring another 3-0 victory here, tough against Lens. And then Monaco-Lille also stands out. Important for both teams, and both really needs to go for it, so we might see a couple of goals in that game.
Yes, and Monaco must win to even have a chance for the qualification for Champions League fourth spot. Really interesting. And Lille, I mean, they can be tricky sometimes to break down, so really look forward to that one. We also need to mention that Lyon is playing away to Toulouse, and a victory then looks looks promising, and they are heading to play most likely they will be heading to play Champions League football. The direct spot depends on the Lille result, but really, really interesting. But now over to the most interesting of it all, Le Foot Pronos. And I want to start by asking you, Jeff, what do you have for us? First of all, we need to maybe just address the fact that we have a leader. That's Jeff, -1 point after last week. You did not get the victory. Lille Havre, it was a tough one and hard to to accept, or
similar to the Monaco bet I had the week before. 1-1, and Lille had a lot of chances throughout the whole game, but I mean, Soumaré equalized in the 30 minutes, so I think it's however you twist and turn it, bad from Lille not to be able to grab those 3 points.
Yeah. And tell us, what do you have for us this week?
This week, I'm not going for a straight win for any teams. I'm going for both teams to score in the Rennes versus Paris FC. And rationale behind that is Paris FC has grown massively lately, scoring goals with ease. And Rennes need to win here to also try and secure that Champions League spot, or if not Europa League spot. So I think we'll see a good game in both ends.
Okay, and then that will bring you 1 point and put you back to 0. Then it's your -2, and you have a bet. Tell us.
I am. I'm gonna go all in for Le Havre against Marseille.
That's how bad they are now, and that will bring you.
That will bring me 3 points.
3 points and potential lead going from -2 to +1. It would be impressive. And I would like to finish off saying that I have my prono being over 2.5 goals, meaning 3 goals or more, in the fiery battle between Auxerre and Nice. And my reasoning basically is that Auxerre needs to chase goals. They need the victory to go past Nice in the table, and Nice, they don't want to concede, but I think the opening spaces there in Auxerre is going to be evident, and you have Wahi. I mean,
and Sinayoko, good shape.
Sinayoko, good shape for Auxerre. So I think there is the players there to do some scoring, so I hope for over 2.5 goals.
Interesting.
Yes, and then we'll see if it's a live heading into the final match week, where we will all then be sweating and nervous of who wins the deluxe dinner at McDonald's. That is it for this week. Head to our social media to see any goals that we repost, that we talk about in all of the episodes. Subscribe and give us a rating wherever you listen to podcasts. We truly appreciate that. Remember, as always, tell a football-loving friend. For queries, you're always welcome to reach out at lefootpodcast@gmail.com. Now we want you to have a fantastic week and see you next Monday. Au revoir.